Well, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do a little kind of a mashup style with Angelina and Elvis. These Unchained Melody, these performances I just posted a little while ago. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of an overlay here and there if at all possible. And again, that's not out of disrespect to either artist. It is and it's not a comparison and it's not a contest. Not in my mind anyway. If you guys can view it however you want to view it, of course. I look at it as interesting to see the nuances that are a little bit different, and the similarities sometimes. Angelina, in my experience and my opinion watching her, does not copy other people. Sometimes she's very close to what they did, as far as doing a cover, and sometimes I think she does that on purpose to pay respect to the artist and the performer that she's covering. Or it could even be a particular event or a situation or a performance that she doesn't want to tinker with very much. Because Angelina is always changing things. She very seldom does anything the same way twice. She's always trying to improve it in some small way at least. And that's at least my observation. So this one, Angelina is at the top of her game in this one, and Elvis, unfortunately, is at the other side of the coin. He's on a certain decline in his life and everything else. It's only a couple of months, a little bit less than 2 months before he passed away. And there was a lot of talk about drug abuse and things like that. And I don't know whether that's true or not. So I'm not saying it happened, but I can't say that it didn't happen either. And it was, I read some articles today about people that were around Elvis that tried to get him to go get help and that kind of stuff. And, it's just, I wish he was still here, to be honest. I'd love to see him and Angelina on stage together singing a duet, right? But we're never going to see that like that. Maybe a virtual one, but we'll never see a real one. And Angelina credits Elvis with being one of her influences in her musical journey. And she's done a lot of covers of Elvis songs, so it's like she's paid. The biggest one I think was "Suspicious Minds." That video was a masterpiece and an homage to Elvis. Like, who goes through that much trouble just to pay respect to a singer that's not here anymore, right? Angelina does. That's who, okay. And then people say, well, she's. I had somebody comment saying that Angelina's. Using Elvis's name to forward her career. I don't even know what to say to that, Angelina's been singing for more than 10 years on her own, doing all kinds of stuff. And not doing all Elvis stuff, just doing all kinds of stuff, performing at all kinds of venues and all kinds of things. And, we got all kinds of behind the scenes stuff. And she's promoting her own career, her and her family. They've been doing that, and they don't pull people from the past out and parade them around to try to get people to watch the videos. They don't do that, okay? To even say that is insulting, actually, I think. She doesn't do that. And there are those that do, but she's not one of them, okay? Angelina doesn't use the people that she respects from her past to try to get her anywhere. She gets there on her own. She writes her own music. She covers a lot of people. She makes tweaks and makes it her own song. A lot of people comment that when she does covers, she owns the song now because she makes it her own. Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen. At least Queen had the class to come out and say that they liked her song, her version of Bohemian Rhapsody. Does that mean she's using Freddie Mercury as a way to? No, it doesn't mean that. Okay, jeez. Get over it, will you? So, yeah, I guess I don't get riled up that much. But you know what? Don't pick on my granddaughter here, Angelina, my virtual granddaughter. Okay? She's the best singer I've ever heard, period, hands down, bar none. I don't care who you bring up. I've listened to music my whole life, and she's it. She's number one. And she's only just now reaching adulthood where she's going to start taking off. She's going to mature some more. Her voice is going to probably get a little bit deeper and richer. And she's going to live her life now too, which gives her life experience. Up till now, when she's singing as a little kid, she never experienced all the stuff she sings about, but she's able to pass along the feeling of the lyrics, the message in the lyrics, and the emotion that you didn't always get out of the original. So let's go ahead and listen to Angelina. Elvis, as I said, is on the tail end of his career. He's almost, it won't be long. He won't be with us after singing this song. But you know what? He's still got some pipes, and he's still a performer. And right to the end, man, you got to respect somebody like that. I think that when people stick to their guns all the way through to the end, I love that, man. I respect that. If all of a sudden they get near the end like me, if I were to find out that I wasn't going to be around much longer, if I run down to the church and throw myself on the altar and say, I've been, it's a miracle I've been saved, right? To try to buy my way into heaven, or to at the last minute to try to hedge my bets, right? I'm in that situation in a way. I got some friends of mine that talk to me about that all the time. About getting saved and going. Then being one of the chosen ones and all this kind of stuff, there's some things about that whole thing that I don't get or don't necessarily agree with or like. Do I have to get it all to be part of the church? Well, you do, sort of. At least you got to be of like mind, I would think, generally. Maybe not every single thing, but generally. But some of the things I don't necessarily agree with are pretty important things. So, I have to come to terms with that. Do I believe? If so, what do I believe in? And what happens when we're gone? Should I start being worrying about that? Maybe. I turned 69 March 1st, the day after Angelina's concert. I'm not getting any younger, and I got, things I'm dealing with right now that could bring the bus a little sooner than I was hoping for. So I doubt, hopefully not, but you never know. And all that. So anyway, let's get on to the show. I'm only saying it because you know what? I honestly do wish Elvis was still here. I do. I feel it's a shame that celebrity, fame, money, and all that kind of stuff can bring a person down. But it happens often enough that it's got to be a thing, right? And I don't know. It's just a shame that's what it does. You have everything. You have the whole world in your hand, and that happens. A shame. All right, guys. Let's get to the video. I'll put a timestamp for when the music starts because I talk too long.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch. How long? And time goes by.
Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch a long time. Time goes by
So slowly, and time can do so much. Are you
so slow. Godspeed love to lonely rivers flow to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Lonely rivers cry, wait for me, wait for me.
Come along, wait for me, yeah.
I'll be coming home, wait for me, my love, my darling. I hungered for your kiss alone, lonely time goes by with it so slowly, and time can do so much for you. Still I need your love. I need your love. God speed love.
Oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for your so slowly inside, and do so much
To Thank you. You're fantastic. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you. Thank you. It's very nice of you.
still mine.
Okay, well, there we got it. Angelina and Elvis singing the same song. I guess you could look at it that, Angelina is just stepping out into her adult career now. She was 17 at the time she sang this song, but she turned 18 recently, and now she's going to be in Vegas, where Elvis ended his 7-year run at the then International Hotel, which is now the Westgate. And Angelina is going to be performing at the Westgate in February 29th. 2 shows. And so Elvis left that building back in December of 76, I think. This performance was in July of 77, and he passed away in August of 77, so it was just shortly before his passing. And in between times, he did a few other concerts. I was able to find, on a Google search of the last times Elvis performed, in front of an audience. And I think there were 3 shows between this one and the time of his passing, and 2 were recorded. They were like this. They were at a recorded event, and one was not recorded. The last one actually was not, professionally recorded. It was, apparently there are some videos out there, but they were like handheld cameras and such as that. So I wasn't able to locate any of those, but it isn't really about that anyway. It's about 2 great performers, Angelina and Elvis. Angelina at the beginning of her career, and Elvis was at the end of his career. But still, Elvis was a performer and an entertainer and a singer right to the last, wasn't he? He still had some juice. So nobody knew, of course, at that time that he wouldn't be around much longer. But he was out there being a showman like he always was, and you got to have a respect for a guy that goes out swinging, right? Some people might find it, I don't know. Some people say you got to know when to step away from the game, but this is singing. It's not football or basketball, baseball, things like that. It's singing comes from the heart as much as it does from anything else. If it's good singing, in my opinion. Okay, and remember, I'm a carpenter. Okay, so my opinion is just my opinion as a carpenter listening to music. Okay, I am not a professional, but in the music industry. But I've listened to music my whole life, so I have experience listening to music, and I also know what touches me and what doesn't touch me. So that's where we've had this discussion before. But Angelina is Angelina on the verge of becoming becoming a part of the music scene in earnest, even though she's already been part of the music scene her whole life, 10 years plus. She's done so much in her life in preparation of this moment where she's going to step out onto the a bigger stage, if you will. And also, of course, Elvis here is at the end of his illustrious career as both a singer and he did a bunch of movies too, over 30, I think. And I grew up with Elvis, really. I mean, he came on the scene, I think, in 55 or 56, maybe a little earlier than that even. I was born in 55, so he came on the scene when I was born. So as I grew up, my mother used to listen to Elvis. She wasn't like a nonstop. She had 5 kids to raise on her own, so she wasn't running over to the record player every couple minutes or the radio to make sure that there was music playing. She had more other things on her mind, I guess. But she was a fan of music. We had a record player and some records, and we didn't have a lot of stuff, but we had some stuff. And then later on in life, my mother had a chance to, she met a great guy who had a little bit of money, and they used to go to Vegas on occasion. And he used to like to play cards, and she was not a gambler. I guess trying to raise 5 kids on her own with very little money, she was more frugal with her money and less likely to risk it on something like that. So he'd give her some money to go play slot machines, and she'd stick it in her pocket and save it for a rainy day. And but her big thing in Vegas was going to see the shows. They would go out there. she saw Elvis a number of times. She saw one of her favorites was Tom Jones actually, and there was a few other singers that they loved to go see when they were out there. So that was typical. Not really typical though. I would say. Well, it got to be typical after Elvis was out there, according to the biographical information I read. That the whole thing with Vegas kind of changed when Elvis took residency at the International. He was one of the first to do that, and he was there for 7 years, and he lived there. And when he people would when Elvis went there and stayed there, and was a regular performer at the International, people went to Vegas to see Elvis. Prior to that, they went to Vegas to gamble, and they would catch a show afterwards, as a break in the action, right? And it was more of you went there to gamble almost specifically, and all the other stuff was just, the sideline entertainment and so on. After Elvis got there, people went there to see Elvis, and then they gambled while they were there. A whole different, it's like a quantum shift, right? And that it's important because, I like to say that Elvis ushered rock and roll into the mainstream, and that's an example of that. Where there was a period of time back in the 50s when Elvis first started. I mean, I showed one video where they wouldn't show below his waist because they were afraid he was going to do the dance moves that he was doing. It was too provocative and too scandalous at that time. And, you look back on it now, then look at what's going on with music nowadays. It's like, that was scandalous and provocative. Look what they're doing now. So, yeah, I mean, everything kind of moves in a certain direction, and then eventually it's, whatever used to be shocking becomes normal. And, I think sometimes that's a shame, I think. But other times, I guess it's just the way things are, progression. I guess we're always evolving, us human beings, into something else. So I think that's it. We'll leave it right there. I just find this stuff interesting. And again, it's not a competition who's better and all that. Angelina here is at the beginning of her career. She's young. She was singing this song, which she has sung many times now. For example, she just sang at the Nobel Peace Prize Awards. But she adapted the song to the event. And in this one here, she's singing for her audience and her fans. Okay, so she adapted the song again to fit the event. It's different than the Nobel Peace Prize one, which was honoring the award recipient. So, and of course the cause and all the other stuff that goes is in the background behind that. But different purposes, different meanings. She changes the song. She's not the kind of singer that goes out there and sings the same song note for note, word for word, and then walks off the stage. She modifies things to fit the occasion. And I think a lot of singers have done that in the past. She's not unique in that regard, but she's very empathetic to what she's doing, and I think she's very intelligent, and she knows music so well that for her to do that, to make that adaptation, is just what she would do. That just comes natural to her. Of course I'm going to change the song a little bit. It's a different audience. Whereas most people are thinking, I got to rewrite the song. Oh, no. And she's not rewriting anything, but she's tweaking things, The audience, this one here with the audience, her fans, she slowed it way, way down. And she knows that us fans, we hang on every note. So that gave us time to absorb. And I can tell you from being in the audience that I was emotional the entire time. I was emotional the entire concert because I was actually there watching Angelina sing live. And that's like a dream come true, right? And I was up close. I wasn't in the middle. I was off to the one side, but I had a perfect view of Angelina the whole time. No heads in the way because there was an aisle. We were near an aisle, and the way it was situated, it was like the aisle was like a clear shot right there. We could see right to Angelina with nobody interfering with our vision. And it was like it is a dream come true, right? So now I'm going out to Vegas to see the two shows that are coming up on the 29th, and my expectations of the show are no less than Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where that was my first time seeing Angelina live, and I was not disappointed. It was my best day ever. Not just the Angelina. Her concert was the cherry on top, and it was a great big gigantic cherry. But the whole day with all the Angelina fans and all the other stuff we did, the Dancing Angels in the Park, Steve Ackerman, Barry Souter, James Thiel, or excuse me, Bob Palmer, and James Thiel. Okay, I'll put Bob in there first because he was kind of part of the crew, and then James was there, and he did an outstanding job. It's a good thing he was there too because he did a great job filming and audio, and we had actually a lot of his stuff was used in the final production of the video because we had some technical difficulties like live streaming with no sound. Technical difficulty, big one. Okay. I could say that we took after the NFL. Remember when they had a season where they decided to have no commentators? They just had showed the video. Yeah, that's what we did. We were following their lead. No, that's not what we did. We just made a mistake. I think it was probably me. I don't know. I'll take the blame. It was my phone, my live stream. So yeah, it was me. So the but in any case, it got put together and it turned out pretty good. So, and there were other people there too that were doing audio, pictures, just people walking, fans that were there that just did their own thing, and it's all fine. It's all fine, man. All the angels were positive, full of positive energy. If you notice in that Dancing in the Park, Dancing Angels in the Park video, all the people that were there were participating. There wasn't anybody standing around doing nothing. Okay, they were all out there dancing. Okay, all different ages, all different, I guess comfort levels with public dancing, and they were all out there doing it, man. They were smiling. Everybody was smiling. It was fantastic. The energy, the love, the willingness to help, the niceness, the kindness of everybody was just unbelievable. I've never been in a group like that, to be honest. I mean, I've been in lots of groups, of various types for various reasons, but I've never been in a group that was that much positive energy, and I'll tell you what, it takes over your whole spirit. It really does. And I got to meet a bunch of great people, and I was live streaming throughout the day talking to people, and it's just, everything was positive. There was no, there were some things that happened, and there was a little bit of negativity here and there, but the positivity was overwhelming, It's like somebody standing in the middle of the ocean saying they don't want to get wet, to have negative energy that day, and it just wasn't going to happen. So the concert, just a dream come true. I couldn't believe I was there. Took me almost a month after that concert to get over it. Okay, I still was questioning: did I actually go there? Was I actually there? Was that real? For a month. Okay, the first couple of weeks I was functioning. I was going to work. I was doing my thing, but I really wasn't there. I was still back in Portsmouth the whole time. Reliving the experience, and then I was like in a daze and a fog. I don't know what you call that. There's probably some kind of a scientific name for it, but I was living an alternate reality. I was actually functioning, doing my work, doing my job, living my life, taking care of my dogs and my house and everything else. But I was like in a foggy dream state because I was still, part of me was still back in Portsmouth, I think. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's why I've been trying to do a video on why that was my best day ever, and I can't come up with the right words to describe it. So I've been putting it off. I think I got to do something before we go to Vegas, though, so I'll try to get something out to y'all. Well, now I have wasted a lot of your time. I'm sorry for all that. I was going to do like a 1 or 2 minute outro, and now we're up to 14 minutes. Okay, so let's end it here. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the interestingness of the video. And again, I don't look at it as a competition. If you love good music, if you love music in general, listening to these two performers at different stages of their careers is, to me, is at a minimum interesting. And there was only 2 parts in there where I did a little bit of an overlap. It didn't overlap well because there was different timing and all that, but you could hear, to me, listening to it, greatness is greatness, and you can hear the greatness in both. Oh my God. Now we're going to end the video. All right. Have a good day, guys. Have a good day. Good night. Good morning. Good evening. Whatever it is, wherever you are. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.